First of all, the crowd was awesome. I mean, it was closer to 6,000 than 5,500. So the turnout on a weather's not great. We're still a long way from playing a game. So I thought the crowd was awesome. I think the guys felt that even pregame. But a lot of things that we need to clean up. We need to get better. But all things that we think are teachable. The shooting is obviously. We're going to be able to stretch the defense out a little bit more than maybe we have in the past. So really pleased with our shooting. Pretty pleased with how the flow of the offense is. It's we're running an offense that we ran for about 10 games 2 years ago. That's kind of what Milwaukee ran 2 years ago. And it requires a lot of thinking and a lot of reading, and pretty happy with how far advanced the guys are with that. We got to get a lot better, and some guys are further advanced on knowing this than others, but that'll hopefully come over time.
We know Khalif Battle was on crutches. Can you tell us what's going on with him?
Yeah, he practiced today. I walked over, got in the gym, and he said his foot was really sore, and they took him for a preliminary look at over at the football facility. At that point, nothing that there was no determination that there was anything, no break or anything. But I know that they're going to look at it again tomorrow, with some different X-rays or whatever. So. As of now, no update, nothing other than the fact that, he felt uncomfortable, not in the same spot as where he had a break earlier. Same foot, but not really related as of now. But we did have more than one doctor look at him over at football, and then we had a couple more doctors in our locker room. So right now, nothing unless whatever test they run, something comes up.
Yeah, Eric, just wanted your thoughts on L tonight. 16 points, 8 of 10 shooting, 6 assists, 1 turnover. Seems like what's sitting right behind you. It looks like you've got a good bit of trust built up in him already.
Yeah, I thought L was phenomenal. Shot selection, you mentioned, Scotty, I think you said he was 8 of 10. And one of his shots was it was addressed right away. It was his first shot of the game, a pull-up three that he's not going to take again to start a game. Other than that, you take that shot away and he goes 8 of 9, and that's really hard to do. But I think that some of the shooting is really going to open up dribble drive angles for guys like L and Devo. I think that. The threat of perimeter shooting, even our bigs. I mean, Kai made a 3, and Bay, maybe his foot was on the line or whatever. But Davenport and Joseph, we have some guys that can make shots. And Devo's really been shooting the ball from 3 at a high clip in practice. And we've been working every day. I mean, we end every practice with 10-minute shooting, nothing but 3 balls for everybody in the gym. And it's you shoot 10 straight minutes with a bunch of rebounders and 3 or 4 balls at one basket with one guy. That's a lot of reps. So pleased with how we're shooting the ball, and not pleased with how we defended the 3.
Coach, reading up on Davenport whenever he committed, it seemed like he was kind of a streaky shooter there to Cincinnati. Had 19 points in the first half, not much in the second half. Is that kind of what you're seeing a little bit, the streakiness in him? Yeah, I mean, if he had 19 points in the second half, he probably wouldn't be playing here. he is a streak shooter. He's a guy that can put points on the board in a hurry. Defensively, we need him to improve. We need Joseph to improve. But those guys, both of them, are really, really good shooters. And really, with Davenport, when his feet are set, he's not a good shooter. He's a great shooter. I think sometimes off the bounce and off the move, the turnovers. He'll work on playing in a crowd tomorrow or whenever we get back together and work on not getting the ball stripped. But he's, 19 points and a half can change a game for you when you really think about it. I mean, if a guy does that in a regular season game or an SEC game, then, you're probably in a pretty good spot if you have a player that has the ability to get close to 20 and a half. I want to know who was guarding him now.
I wanted to ask about some of your front court guys. What did you see from Graham and Mackay tonight, and then a double-double from Chandler Lawson?
Yeah, so, this Bucks offense that we're running that involves a lot of post play at the elbows and then some Princeton cutting and some split actions, whether it's a guard-to-guard split or a guard-to-wing split. Kai's really, really good at that. And we went back and reviewed the film from last year. He was involved in a lot of our big post-elbow actions that led to layups and dunks. He's a really good passer. He's a willing passer. He likes to play there. He does a good job sealing off defenders on the elbow to receive a catch. And then Jalen Graham, I mean, he's practiced a lot better than he did last year. I think he's bought in to the total scheme on both sides of the ball. I'd like to see him rebound a little bit more in traffic. But offensively, he's a really hard guy to cover, and he commands a double team, and he's going to have to learn when people dig down or trap how to get that thing out and then get it back off of a repost. Will be really important for him.
Over here, some of the players were in here saying that they were tired, and just how are some of the new guys adjusting to your style, your pace, and things like that?
I think they're still adjusting. That's why we run the mile, is to try to get him in shape. But we have some guys, probably some of the newer guys that are probably really tired. And, I think that we can play even harder than we did tonight. I thought that in transition defense we gave up too many layups. We didn't protect the rim enough. We didn't go vertical enough around the rim. We didn't pick the ball up quick enough, full court, with our backcourt players and our post players when they were guarding the inbound passer. Needed to do a better job of stunt bluffing and letting the point guard or whoever's trying to initiate offense playing a crowd a little bit more. And all that's a lot of effort things. We didn't go to the offensive rebounds off our free throws nearly with the intensity that we want or have come to expect here to try to get extra possessions. But hopefully, again, over the next 3 weeks, we can improve these areas that we will identify next time we get together.
Coach, we got to see Devo and Mark kind of go one-on-one against each other a little bit tonight. What's it like watching them tonight go against each other in practice, and how will they complement each other when you guys finally do face an opposition?
Yeah, they're both fierce defenders. They both have great length. Both with their wingspan. They have great quickness, great anticipation, toughness, all things that we can't teach any of those things. They both have high will to win. So, I think those guys together, obviously Devo's been a guy that, for 3 years now we've told him to go guard the best player on the other team. And now, we hope that Team Art can do the same, and maybe those guys can alternate between guys, and we can give the opponent a different look. Team Art's a little bit different defender than Devo is, although they're both really excellent in their own ways. And Team Art's he's still got to jump to the ball when his man passes. That's an area that we need him to improve on. He still needs to close out with a high hand when his man catches the ball. And those are just some little DNA things that are really important to us, and he's still adjusting to do those things. But I think just, hey, go guard that guy, he's probably as good as anybody.
Yeah, Coach, what did you think of the chemistry between Devo and Ellis tonight?
I thought it was really good. Obviously both guys have the ability to score, and if you can, both those guys can go get their shot virtually whenever they want. And so how is the chemistry? Is the ball going to move? Is the ball going to stick too much? Is the ball going to be shared? All those things are certainly areas of concern if you have two guys that can, off the bounce, go get something. But the great thing is there's a lot of end of shot clock stuff that happens in college basketball, and when you don't have people that can go get their own or get a teammate a shot, which I thought Elle did a great job tonight, and Devo, of getting by their defender, drawing an extra one, and making an extra pass. If those guys do that, I think we can be, pretty effective in late clock situations.
Yeah, Coach, around this time last year, I remember you saying that in practice, when you have one group that builds a little bit of a lead, they just kind of go on a run, and it seemed like it was kind of back and forth like that. It seemed like today there was, on both sides, some pretty good runs. I was just wondering what you see from that perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we can, we're probably a team that can score in spurts. We've got to do it, that team that wore the white uniforms tonight got off to a pretty good lead, and then you look what happened after the first quarter, and Red was way more consistent on both sides of the ball. So if you're a little bit streaky offensively, you want to be really, really consistent defensively from an effort standpoint, from a defensive rebounding standpoint, from a transition defense standpoint, and we got to get better at that. But look, this red-white game is played way earlier than we've done in the past so that we have more film. We thought that, playing the red-white game and then having two exhibitions, we felt like it was too crammed together. And so last year we were able to have the 4 games in Europe in the summer that allowed us to have a lot of film and body of work, and that was part of the reason we moved this game up, was to have some video to teach before we compete again.
Coach, you mentioned this Thursday. We got to see it for the first time, just the maturity level of this team. So much experience that you brought in, experience you're seeing on the court together. For these guys to gel so quickly, is it because of how much basketball these guys have played elsewhere?
I think that certainly helps. I think it helps, because obviously we have a ton of new guys, but we also, you guys probably better statistically or have it in the top of your head, but we have a lot of returners, it seems like. We got a ton of new guys, but Devo started, Kai started, Joseph knows the offense inside and out. Our 2 walk-ons, phenomenal buddy coaching in practice. So I think that kind of consistency has helped the new guys as well. Jalen Graham's a returner, so and he's a guy that played some significant. So I think we got the new guys are being acclimated a lot because of their teammates who are trying to help them in practice. But yeah, we have a maturity, and surprisingly we've gelled pretty good offensively, and need to gel better defensively, and most of the time it's the opposite. At least in my tenure, it's been really good defensively and not so cosmetically pleasing offensively until we get to March. And even then, it's probably not real cosmetically pleasing.
Mus, you said recently you really want your team to get out and run this year. A couple of questions on that. How did you feel like the transition offense was tonight? I know you said the defense wasn't as what you wanted it to be. And then also I thought you got some open threes on secondary break, just a couple of quick passes around the perimeter before the defense got set or could close. Could you talk about both of those aspects of your running game?
Yeah, it's really interesting because when every new team, a coaching staff can have a vision of what they want. We noticed it about 2 weeks ago that we have some guys that have an innate ability to contest a shot and then fly and release early. Not something that we've done here in the past because we focus so much on defensive rebounding, but we do have some guys that just innately contest and fly, which is a it happens in the NBA all the time. If we can get the other 4 guys to defensive rebound at a high level, we'd like to continue to contest and fly, just because we have guys that, we probably got 2 or 3 guys that have been doing it their whole life, and it just kind of happens. It's not anything that we taught. And when you have a player that through instincts can be effective, you want to let them go, and maybe, as coaches, we got to adjust. Now they, like I said, we can't do that if the other 4 don't defensive rebound. But yeah, I think our secondary break, Kevin, is I think this Bucks we're running it after misses, and then we go into our half-court package on makes, and I think that they understand there's 5 spots on the floor that have to be occupied, and they're doing a good job of owning the corners, running to the corners as quick as they can, getting to the 245 degree, and then having a trail guy, regardless of what position you are. I think tonight you probably saw a lot of 4s and 5s even handle the ball a little bit more, although Davenport probably is not going to be bringing it up anymore. But if Jalen Graham gets a defensive rebound, we want our guys to have the freedom to grab and go.
Yeah, Eric, I know it's a red-white game. Red shot 68.5%, and the white shot 55%. I assume you guys hadn't shot over here, right? I mean,
We might be a really good road shooting team.
yeah. Well, I was wondering, just what
Is that where you're going?
Yeah, what do you think of shooting percentages and, the fact that y'all shot like that in a gym you're not used to being in?
Well, the great thing is we've never practiced in Bud Walton, so maybe we'll shoot the crap out of it when we go there, too. I think it's a good sign. Like we didn't shoot around here today either. When we practiced today, we practiced in our practice court. So the first time they ever, were in here shooting was tonight. Great for our offense. I don't know who our defensive coordinator is, but he's got a lot of work to do tomorrow.
Eric Joseph was in here earlier saying that he feels like he's matured most. I guess in areas of growth, maturity is a thing that has grown since the end of last year. What have you seen from him in terms of that? And then were there any physical changes? Like did he get taller or just put on some mass in the summer?
Yeah, I think he's definitely stronger. I think he's gained some weight, but it's really, really good weight. I think he's actually leaner. It's not often you can have a player gain some, get stronger, gain a little bit of weight, and kind of lean out as well. And he's done that. When he got here, he was wearing a knee brace. It was pretty heavy. I think it affected his mobility for sure. And then when you take that thing off, you got to get through some stuff too. And then he's a freshman, and he's been patient. And I think we're seeing a better player today than last year. And look, when Joseph got opportunity last year, he helped us win, the Missouri game. He flat out as a freshman went into the game and helped us. And, we had enough confidence to have him in the game at the end of the Baylor game where he took the last shot that could have put it in overtime or whatever. So he is not a good shooter. He's a phenomenal shooter. And he's done a good job rebounding defensively because that's been an area that we felt, we needed him to go to the glass defensively a little bit. He's got to improve defensively, and it starts with getting lower, having a little bit lower disposition defensively. We're a no-middle team, and it should help him. I think that if a quicker player's got the ball and where you have to shade it, it should help him. He gave up middle a little bit too much tonight, and the good thing is we'll be able to go back and talk to him and tell him, hey, just you got to shade this guy where the help is.
Coach,
Mike's always rushing me out. You're tired? I'm tired. I drove back from Beyonce all night the other night. Try getting back at 4:30 in the morning.
Coach, when we talked to you last week, I think you said Brazil's timeline is 2.5 weeks. Is he still on track for that? And I think, if my math is right, that put him back a few days before the first exhibition game. Is that a goal to get him to play in that, or
not necessarily, Hutch? I look. We are with TB. Like we're being like I want TB in March. We want him to get his rhythm and all that. He's done an awesome job. He's been cleared. He's been with his rehab guy. They've done all the testing. Everything's great. Probably could have played tonight, 3 minutes a half. But why? We want him to go a little bit more 3-on-3. He's been going 3-on-3 live after we're done with practice. And so he'll go 3-on-3 live one more time this week at some point, and then. But he's been jumping into all of our drills and look, offensively, when a player's coming off an injury like that, that's not really an issue. The issue is I'm guarding you or you, and I got to react. And so that's why we want to take our time. And no real timeline other than we certainly, with the way it's going now, he's playing opening night. That's not, as long as everything continues to progress as is.